I'm doing the vlog right now, and I'm doing a Fantasy Strike fighting game stream, so if you guys want to hang out, talk about your day, ask me any questions that you have, and bring up any discussion topics you'd like to talk about, feel free to do so on the vlog as well as on the Fantasy Strike stream. I've heard from Matt and Ryan, specifically, that the PlayStation chat for the fighting game streams, and for the game streams in general, sometimes doesn't catch all the messages. So if you guys want to talk to me, I guess, in a more reliable way, feel free to hit me up on the vlog stream in the live chat if you guys want to keep that discussion going. Today, what I did some laundry, I exercised, showered, prepared some breakfast, nothing fancy, got gas, went to Colin's, hung out with Colin, Gerard, and Aiden. We played Guilty Gear, we played Tekken 7, me and Aiden watched Sonic High School, which is one of my favorite little fan fiction cartoon parodies that's on YouTube currently. If you guys haven't looked up Sonic High School, I'd highly recommend it. It's really stupid. Let's see. Then after that I came home, exercised, showered, and now I'm doing the stream. I also have been working on it's not a Superpower Battles volume, but a superhero guidebook that I've been pretty hype about. Matt said, never watching PS4 because it's broken. He said Cross Tag now has all DLC revealed and it's glorious. I asked Colin and Gerard and them what their thoughts were on the Cross Tag Battle DLC, and they seem to not care, like, at all. I also am not too hype about any of it, to be honest. Let's see. Godzilla said, "Hi Nick, yo Godzilla, welcome to the stream, it's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? And do you have any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on the stream?" Kels said, "Yo squared." Yo Kels, welcome to the stream, it's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? And do you have any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on the stream? Let's see, let me scroll down on the live chat. Matt said, "That's because they are haters." Ooh, that's strong coming from Matt. So right now I'm playing Fantasy Strike. If you guys want to check that out, feel free to tell me in the live chat. Feel free to talk with me in the live chat. Tell me if you have any discussion topics or questions that you'd like to talk about, and feel free to just tell me about your day. Let's see. So I'm gonna try arcade mode hard again with Argargagarg. It's actually Argagarg. I added too many sounds in it. Then Matt said, "No, Fantasy Strike is lame." Then Kel said, "Is it possible to hippity hop on the amino?" I will make sure to get to the amino, but at the moment, I'm about to start up this Fantasy Strike. Matt said, "And you only go to PS4 if you want the chat to die." Then Godzilla said, "Have you heard of the Wendigo?" The Wendigo is actually like a weird cryptid creature in the Marvel universe, but I imagine he's inspired by, like, legends and myths and stuff. But I've seen, I think I've seen Wolverine fight a Wendigo before. I definitely have. I saw Wolverine and his daughter, Wild Thing, fight like a whole pack of Wendigos in a Wild Thing comic once. Wild Thing exists in like a parallel Marvel universe where Wolverine and Elektra had a kid. And I think that's one of the first times I ever heard of Wendigos. I also saw Wendigos in a Marvel comic. It was like Weapon H. I think I saw fight a Wendigo. They're supposed to be really strong. I even saw Hulk fight a Wendigo, now I think about it, in that Wild Thing comic. Let's see. Matt said, "Anyway, Cross Tag." He said Adachi was from Persona 4 Alternate Universe, but he was DLC there. Is it... Wait, when you say Persona 4 AU, you probably don't mean Alternate Universe, you probably mean something else. Kels said, "I'm really into Mugen right now, and it's super fun." Oh, dope! I personally never played Mugen, but that sounds dope. Godzilla said, "The Wendigo is a Native American beast that was from a person that was so hungry it ate people." So like a cannibal? Then Matt said, "Since nobody actually cared for Arena, I never got the DLC, and thus couldn't try out Adachi." Okay, so you're excited to be able to play this Persona 4 Arena character who you've never gotten to play before. That's cool. Godzilla said cannibalism equals turn into a beast. He said also their hearts are made from ice. Interesting. Then Matt said AU stands for Arena Ultimax. Without further ado, because I've had the Fantasy Strike stream going on for like 4 minutes, almost 5 minutes, let's jump right into Argagarg. So I guess the story mode randomizes who you fight in Fantasy Strike. That's kind of weird. Because before, Grave was a fight that you don't do until like a lot later. I remember him being one of the harder fights. Let's see, Kel said the only problem is that I can't download RAR files, which is the type for most Mugans. Because you have to pay for a program to convert it to a zip file. Interesting. And then Godzilla said, and they are tall and fast, the Wendigos. One moment, guys. Right now, I gotta fight Grave as the first opponent in this Fantasy Strike match. Which sucks, because Grave is one of the stronger characters to try and beat. So it's weird to make him like the first one. Right now my niece and my dad are here. Whoop, be careful. Goodness. Give me one moment, please. After this round, I'll read one live chat. Okay, cool. Let me pause it. Okay. Now let's jump back in this live chat. So, that's interesting. So what do you need the RAR files for, Kels? You said, that's what's used for most, Mugans, or whatever? Is that for more characters? Is that for different Mugen games? Blah. So weird to say out loud. I'm not used to saying Mugen out loud. Like, what are they for specifically? Godzilla said, and they are tall and fast, describing Wendigos. Matt said, Susanoo was DLC from BlazBlue, or unlockable by completing the story. Based on what I heard from Colin, unlockable by completing the story. And then Matt said, but Colin never bothered. Colin said that he had no interest in Susanoo whatsoever. I thought his design was interesting, and I actually asked Colin Gerard about it. Because I was like, he kind of looks like Hakumen, and I know they vibe with Hakumen. Neither of them really seem to care. Matt said Hilda is Uniel's main villain, and she looks like a hard zoner. I thought Hilda looked okay. When I watched a Globku video that was going over the Cross Tag Battle DLC, he was not excited for Hilda at all. He was like, I would have preferred other characters. Matt said Elizabeth is cool. Same way, felt the same way on that. I was like, oh, I'm glad they put her in. And then Matt said, and finally, Celica is alright. Yeah, I didn't really have any strong feelings about that. Godzilla said, Grave sounds like an undead thing. He does, but he's actually more of a weather manipulation, I guess, samurai-style character. Matt said, but yeah, DLC is fairly hype, and it seems like all 9 characters will be out when version 2 is out, which is late November. How much is version 2? Like, that essentially second season of DLC. And then Kel said, oh, and Jet, from what I've heard recently, Shinoda Strikes is actually not garbage. Oh, Shinobi Strikers, blah. He said, but since you don't have online, it's probably going to suck for you. We'll see, fingers crossed, that it does not suck. Okay, now let's do another round against Grave real quick. There's round 5. First fight of the story mode. That could have ended really bad. Ouch. Nice. Okay, so he won another round against Grave. That time, I only got hit once. Let's jump back in and read more of the live chat. So Matt said, my understanding is that Susanoo is Hakumen's armor, taken over by the main villain of BlazBlue, Terumi. Terumi's the main villain of BlazBlue? I had no idea. And is Terumi in Hakumen's armor, or is he, like, controlling it from a distance, like with magic or with like hacking? Matt said probably $20. Then he said getting bodied by Grave. I'm actually doing pretty well so far. Matt said we also get more story in version 2 and new mechanics. What are the new mechanics that we get in version 2? Godzilla said I make a lot of giant monsters. Now I'm thinking of something smaller, but still supernatural. Interesting. Maybe something like a werewolf, perhaps? Matt said possession, I believe. Okay, cool. Then Godzilla said like a normal monster. Now, real quick, before I continue the live chat, let's do another round against Grave. Now, against Grave, I have to, like, buffer all my moves. with my fish projectile, which doesn't deal any damage to my opponent. Oh my gosh. But it's essentially to make sure that if Grave shoots a projectile, I don't get hit. But Grave is doing some weird positioning now that's making my strategy really difficult to implement. Oh gosh. Now I actually am getting bodied by Grave. So me and Grave are neck and neck. Three victories to 3 victories. This next one's gonna decide it. Oh, Kel said, I don't know why Mugens are in .rar files. I think it's because you can contain all of the files, which there are a lot for Mugens in one thingy. But since the file is so large, I would have to pay for a converter that converts larger files. Interesting. Matt said at the end of auto combos, you can assist switch by burning meter. You can do a stronger partner clash. At 80 seconds left on the clock, you get passive meter gain. Huh. How do you feel about the first thing you said, Matt? That at the end of auto combos, you can assist switch. Also, before I read more of the live chat, I'm going to do this final round against Grave.
7. Fight!
Dang it.
Wind summon!
Grave, if he gets like right up in my face, he can be like too much for me to deal with. And if he's too far away, then I can't hit him with my stretchy arms. It sucks how versatile Grave is. Excuse me, in this matchup.
Grave wins.
Because it's like, I can only really fight Grave at mid-range. If he gets too close, I'm essentially dead. And if he gets too far, I'm essentially dead. So now I'm going to have to do that whole fight over again. Let's see. Kel said also it's pronounced Mugen, not Mugen. Wait, hold up. He said it's pronounced Mugen, not Mugen. Isn't it Mugen? I thought it was Mew, like the Pokemon Mew Gen kind of thing. Then Matt said, and I believe one other mechanic, but I can't remember. Then Godzilla said, my monster needs to go to the doctors. Why? Then Matt said, I feel like it isn't entirely needed, but it's not that bad. Okay. Then Godzilla said its legs are bent and like in all the wrong directions. So is it supposed to be like a creepy thing? Like the fact that it has those like deformities? Then Matt said, Jet, you will never finish story/arcade mode doing things like this. Then Bacon Sugar Gamer said, Yo, Bacon Sugar Gamer, welcome to the stream, it's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? Any discussion topics that I talk about on the stream? Kel said, you got what I said backwards. My bad, Kels. Give me one moment, guys. I'm gonna try this fight against Grave again on the Fantasy Strike stream. Don't forget to check that out if you guys want to see some Fantasy Strike action during today's vlog. Crap. It's like I have to like gain ground, shoot a fish, hit him with my arms, gain ground, shoot a fish. Oh, you're not close enough. Gain ground, shoot a fish, shoot a fish. You're gonna do a super, be careful, hit him with the arms. Got him. It's like you have to be extremely careful fighting Grave. So we got the first round, but we gotta win 4 rounds. Let's see, Matt said, Mugen, like kin, not Mujin, like the drink. Gin? So is it Mugen? Or, cause I don't get why you guys are doing the moo. I'm so used to it being like a mew. Like, mew sound. I think I've heard people say Mugen. Then Bacon Sugar Gamer said, Shuri has been changed. Ooh, in what way? Also, before I read more in the live chat, I'm going to do a little bit more Fantasy Strike. Just another round against Grave. Hopefully we'll be able to beat him. We're doing okay against Grave so far. Nice. Okay. So we won the second round against Grave. I'm gonna read a little bit more live chat. So Kel said it's like how Matt said it. Moo instead of mew. Gin. Mugen? Why is it moo like a cow? To me, it sounds a little lamer, I guess. I don't know. Bang Trigger Gamer said her strength is just a normal 13-year-old, but a bit more strong, aka like 50 pounds of force with a punch. What? Then that doesn't sound like a normal 13-year-old. Does anyone think normal 13-year-olds punch with like 50 pounds of force? That seems like a little much. Then Kel said, you can say it with a mew. I'll just judge you for it. Fair. Godzilla said, I feel like Jet has fought Graves so many times. You're not wrong. Payne Sconlard said, you need a makeover. Yo, Payne, welcome to the streams, good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? And any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on the stream? Godzilla said, also, what's the animal you're most afraid of? I'm not really afraid of animals anymore. I used to be really afraid of spiders, but I just got over it eventually. When I was younger and I was afraid of spiders, what I ended up doing is just checking out books from the library about spiders and just reading about them. I feel like the more you learn about them, the less scared you're gonna be. You're just more informed. You know what I mean? Because I feel like what you're afraid of is what you don't know, right? So then you just learn more about that thing, and then you're just like, oh, cool. Yeah, you're just not scary anymore. Then Bang Trigger Gamer said, teens aren't strong, lol. He said, JK, I didn't change your lol. Okay. Then Godzilla said, Okay, so now I'm going to do another round against Grave. Fingers crossed things go well. Okay. Okay, so we've won 3 rounds in a row against Grave. Let's check the live chat. Brother. Godzilla said, oh well, that did not help me. Excuse me. Let's see. If you want to go with like the creepiest animal from when I was younger, like when I was afraid, probably like a spider. I think a creepy looking animal, not something that I'm afraid of, but I just think looks creepy, is I, but I think it's spelled like AA. I'll type the name in the live chat. Feel free to look that up. I think they look really weird. I think if I ran into one in the dark, it would startle me. I don't think I'd be like scared out of my mind or anything. Speaking of scary things, have any of you guys checked out the new Child's Play movie about like the killer Chucky doll? Because the new one isn't like magic based. It's like a robot toy kind of thing. And it's about like AI and Internet of Things gone wrong kind of thing. I really like it. Like the new sci-fi twist on Chucky. So I'd love to hear you guys' opinions about it if you guys happen to have already seen it. Godzilla said, personally I like them, but sure. Oh, okay, cool.
4.
So you vibe with the eyes. Also, I'm going to do another round against Grave. Ooh, Grave hit me twice. Right in the jitters. Okay. Okay, so Grave beat me that round, just barely. I got him down to like his last chunk of the life bar, and he was able to edge that victory. Then Matt said, Jet, stop being obsessed with AI. Just because I like AI, and Child's Play's reboot happens to have AI elements in the story, doesn't mean that I only like it because it has AI elements. That being said, it definitely fits to like my personal taste. I still would say it's a good movie, even if you don't really care that much about like AI and robots and Internet of Things. If you like horror movies, I'd say this is like one of the better horror movies. For one, a lot of horror movies don't focus too much on the like monster, like the thing that's killing everyone, whether it be like a slasher like Jason or like the Texas Chainsaw guy. A lot of times it's about like the victims rather than the person killing the victims. I'd say this Child's Play movie focuses actually a good bit on Chucky, and his existence as like a toy meant to like make a child happy. And I feel like whenever Chucky kills someone, for the most part, you understand why he's doing it, and you can tell why he slowly starts to turn more and more into a murderer throughout the course of the film. But I actually really like the new Child's Play movie. Highly recommend. Kel said, haven't seen it, not really my kind of movie. Fair enough. When I was younger, I didn't care for the Child's Play movies until I watched one. And then I was like, oh, they're actually kind of funny. I thought they'd be really scary, but they're actually kind of silly. Then I saw some of the newer Child's Play movies, and I'm like, whoa, they went a little farther away from the funny angle. They're just actually kind of good. And then the newest one, I'm like, oh, this is good in like all the right ways. I'm really vibing with this. Ryan popped in. Yo, Ryan, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? And do you have any discussion topics that I talk about on the stream? Ryan said, Jet, did you beat the big wicked dragon? No, I'm actually starting all over from the beginning on Argargarg story mode. Wish me the best of luck. Speaking of which, give me one moment. I'm going to do another round against Grave. This is round 5. If you guys want to see me face off against Grave, feel free to tune in to the Fantasy Strike stream. Not only does Grave shoot these like lightning clouds, but his blinding clouds have pushback. So if you get hit by the lightning cloud, you lose some of the ground you made on Grave. Grave is so good. He's probably one of the best zoners in the game. The guy I'm playing, Argargarg, is also a zoner. I just think my tools, like my kit, feels like infinitely inferior to Graves. Grave took another round from me. I just have to beat Grave one more time, and I'll like win. Just one more time. Let's see. Matt said no. He gave up. I did. Ryan said, want to see an acclaimed movie about AI and robots? Check out Metropolis 2001. Matt said, or just watch robots. Matt, chill. Then Ryan said, or watch Metropolis 2001. Then Matt said, or robots. Then Ryan said, Metropolis is an adaptation of Osamu Tsusaki's 1949 manga. I still haven't checked out this manga anime adaptation of Metropolis, but I did watch the OG Metropolis. It was on Netflix when I was younger. And I think that's how I watched it. I either watched it on Netflix or I watched it on YouTube. But I remember there's a version of the old school Metropolis with the original music, and then there's a version with like 80s music. Ryan said Tezuka is the creator of Astro Boy. Give me one moment, I'm going to jump back into Fantasy Strike, do another round against Grave. If I can beat him in this round, I'll get past Grave.
6. Fight!
Fight is fairly even. Yes. Okay, so I finally got him. Beth said, want to play the hashtag question game? Yeah, feel free, Beth. Hit me up. Oh, beware. The PlayStation chat is not the, like, most consistent based on what Ryan and Matt have said. The vlog chat is probably the best for your messages showing up. For whatever reason, not all the messages seem to show up on the PlayStation chat, from what I've heard. Ryan says yes. Back on the vlog stream, Beth also said, want to play question game over here? Sure. Then Ryan said yes. Also, real quick, let me pause while I read some live chat. Then Beth said, Ryan, why is your name All Art is Propaganda? Then Matt said, but did Metropolis give you a video game in a cereal box? I think not. If you put the Robots DVD in your Xbox, didn't it let you play a level of Robots? I could have sworn it was something like that. I could be wrong. I know that for the Incredible Hulk movie from like the early 2000s, if you put that in your Xbox, you just get a level of the Hulk video game. I remember playing that a lot when I was younger. Ryan says his name is All Artist Propaganda because he says it's a true statement. Give me one moment, guys. I'm going to jump back into this Fantasy Strike gameplay. Right now I'm fighting against DeGray, who's this dude who controls a ghost woman who can grab you. He essentially has like a JoJo style stand. And he hits like a truck. He's also like Matt's favorite character, I think, in Fantasy Strike. Oh, goodness. Okay, so that was a really close match against DeGray, but I wasn't able to get that edge on him, so he won the first round. Let's continue forward. Ryan said it gave us one of the best animated sequences in an anime movie. Excuse me. Beth said, what got you into reading Invincibles? It's just Invincible, there's no S at the end. But Invincible, what got me into it, I would go to Dragon Con and people would talk about how Invincible is such a great comic, but they wouldn't give a lot of details. They would just say it's really good and that they recommend it to people who don't normally read superhero comics, and that's pretty much all they would say about it. Recently I watched some videos talking about the Invincible comic series, and those videos essentially gave more details about why people like the series so much, and I was like, that actually does sound like something that I'd be interested in reading. And as I've continued reading through the Invincible comic series, I've learned that it's consistently good. It's not consistently like the best thing in the world. Like, the comic that I think is consistently like the best comic I've read is Arrow, which is a relatively new comic series that's out by Marvel Comics. But I would say Invincible is like consistently like okay, but it also has a lot of stuff to keep you reading. It feels like all the side characters aren't really side characters. They all have like arcs and growth and change, and you start becoming invested in all these side characters. And you never really focus on the normal lives of most of the characters, except for the main guy. Everybody else kind of seems like they're a superhero all the time, which I kind of like that. I don't really want to know about everybody's personal life. And really, when it comes to the main guy, the only thing I care about is how like his personal life is affected by his superheroing, not really about just little things in his personal life, which I like. I like that he's a character who's a superhero, and he kind of puts being a superhero first before like a lot of other stuff. So rather than characters like Spider-Man, who are like, I'm a hero, and it's like tearing apart my normal life, he kind of sees it the opposite way. He's like, my normal life is tearing apart me being a superhero. Like, he's trying to be more of a hero, and I vibe with that a lot more. But very solid question, Beth. Appreciate it. Beth, do you think that you're going to continue enjoying Invincible, or do you feel like it may not be your cup of tea? Then Matt said, no, Grave is just an OP Shota. Then Beth said, your turn, Scrub. Then Ryan said, Shota, Japanese, is a term used in manga and anime fandoms to indicate sex involving an underage boy and is commonly used as a warning on a fanfic. Then Matt said, Shota, fighting game, Ryu, a term to indicate someone with a simple projectile, a dragon punch, and a good neutral game. I'm going to get back to this fight. This is round 2 against DeGrave. DeGrave has almost killed me. I think the fight's only been going on for like 6 seconds. He has invulnerability on a lot of his moves. That was insane. He just perfected me. I'm gonna just play another round. I'm just gonna go straight into the next round. Awesome. Okay, my fish can stop his ghost from grabbing me, which is interesting. Oh, it cannot stop his ghost from grabbing me. Cool, I just thought it could before. So then I tricked myself into a false sense of security. DeGray is annihilating.
Round 4. Fight.
I have not beaten DeGray a single time. Okay. Bye-bye.
Assist. 1, 2, ha! Justice kick.
Train's so hard.
1. Assist.
KO.
Yeah, I really need to figure out what's the best thing to do against Degrade, because Degrade pretty much just annihilated me. Let's see. Beth said, I am most interested in Duplicate and Adam Eve. I can potentially see myself continuing with it. I just need more time to decide. Maybe we can read a bit more of it tonight? Sure, I'd be down to read more of Invincible. It sounds like you're really interested in the female characters that you've seen in the story so far. My favorite female character in Invincible so far is Monster Girl. Her whole thing is that she's essentially like the Incredible Hulk, where she can turn into like a big monster guy. But the problem is that every time she transforms into this giant monster, she becomes a little bit younger. So I think in the story right now, Monster Girl's like 28 years old, and she looks like she's maybe like 13. And she's trying to prevent herself from essentially just being transformed into an infant from using her powers so much. But she lives in a world that's constantly under attack by like supervillains and monsters and aliens, and she feels like she can't just like stop using her powers because she knows that she'll be needed in certain circumstances to kind of protect everything. Let's see. Godzilla said, hey, is there a playable lizard person in that game? Argagarg is kind of like a fish man, but sort of. Matt said the most garbage character is... let's see. Beth said, I really vibe Duplicate's design and cloning powers. It's interesting that you really vibe with Duplicate's design. I feel like her costume is pretty basic. But I will say that a lot of the costumes in Invincible are pretty standard. That being said, I don't know, I say that and then I think about it a little bit more and I'm like, standard-ish. They're not all like Superman recolors. Matter of fact, almost none of them are like Superman recolors, which is nice. So I'm not gonna say they're like super standard, but I guess they're standard enough to where you look at them and you can tell they're superheroes. But I do think everybody does look a bit different. You know what I mean? I guess I like that. That is cool. But I think Invincible's design, at least his original costume, is actually really cool. It changes over the course of the book, and his current costume I think is probably his most simple. I don't really like it as much. Current as in where I'm currently at in the series, and I'm sure it's going to change again. But I actually really like Invincible's costume. There's a lot of cool things going on with it. Kelson, I'm back. Also, I thought of a really cool poker game ability. Hit us up. Tell us about it, tell us about it, Kels. Also, Beth, feel free to ask me a question. Godzilla said, wait, the most garbage character is a lizard person? I don't think so. And then Matt said, yeah. Then Godzilla said, oh, I'm never playing that game then. Then Matt goes, tiniest violin. I'm going to try again against DeGray.
Round 1. Fight.
Okay. So I feel like, crap. I need to change my offensive strategy. I don't think DeGray really has a good defense from a lot of dive kick based attacks out. Except his ghost. His ghost can kind of yoot me out of the air. So I have to be really careful. So DeGray beat me, but he only had like 2 little life bars connected, so he didn't have like a ton of health. Ooh, okay, so I hopped over DeGray. Fish came down. Excuse me. Ooh. Okay, DeGray hit me with a super, but it didn't really matter. I tried to grab DeGray. I got grabbed by the ghost instead. I've lost half my health already. Okay. I had DeGray in the corner. Okay, I was able to get him with some chip pressure. Which sucks because I'm playing a zoner. Like, that shouldn't be the way that I'm playing it. Godzilla said dragon slash lizard people are my main most of the time. There's a dragon character in this game who handed me my ass last time I played. He probably would be your favorite character. He said those are his mains in any game, or that he has as a pet. Kel said the new poker game superpower idea that he has is King of Spades. It's a spread with a giant dream catcher at the end, with the tips at the top of the dream catcher. He said if you stab the spear of some's head, the person, I think he means if you stab the spear into someone's head, the person will go to sleep and the spear is stuck in their head. Afterward, their dream will become reality and create a dream bubble that covers a 40-meter radius. So their dream becomes a reality only within the 40 meters around where they fell asleep. Beth said, what invincible character do I most remind you of and why? Okay. So, I don't think I know of a character that really matches up with your personality directly, Beth. I feel like the answer you'd want me to say is Adam Eve. But Adam Eve, my feelings on Adam Eve are interesting. Because Adam Eve, I think, has a cool character design. She has really cool powers. But her personality so far seems to be She's not a bad person. She clearly is a superhero who wants to help people. And she feels like she can best use her powers by, aiding, small communities in foreign countries. Because she can use her ability to rearrange atoms to make food and resources and shelters for people. So she definitely is smart, and she definitely is caring and charitable. But she also is kind of mean to her parents in certain scenes, and she really likes Invincible, which is a thing. But I don't know. We don't really know a lot about Adam Eve. But I think the way that she treats her parents is going to become more of a plot point at a certain point. And it's one of the weird factors about Adam Eve that I don't really like. But let's see. But I don't know what specific Invincible character that I really relate to you from what I've read so far. There are a lot of different personalities that have been that have been displayed in the Invincible comic so far. But not everybody's a super likable character, or they're kind of likable, but they have some things that are weird about. Yo, Sam White, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? Do you have any discussion topics that they talk about on the stream? Sam White said, what's poppin'? Also, Kels, in regards to your poker game ability, King of Spades is interesting. Does the spear that's created by it physically harm the person when it gets stabbed into their head, or does it just have that magical effect, but it's more or less painless? Godzilla said, wait, who is the most garbage character in the game? And then you said it's a lizard person? I don't think it's the most garbage character in the game. Kels said, well, I gotta go. See you later. Whoop, catch you later, Kels. Thank you for joining in. Godzilla said, that's all I know. Fantasy Strike is a pretty interesting game. If you want to learn more about it, feel free to check out the Fantasy Strike stream. Let's see, Matt said yes. He said that's all you need to know. He said sounds like a Dreamcatcher is the create card from Cardcaptor Soccer. He's making a reference. And then Matt said no fighting, remember? So Spear can't hurt anyone. Sam White said, my day was great. I won a hot dog eating contest and won $40. Congratulations. How many hot dogs did you eat? And he said, how was yours? Fantastic as always. Thank you for asking. Truly appreciate it. Give me one moment before I read any more live chat. I'm going to try and play another round of Fantasy Strike.
Fight.
This time I'm going to try to utilize poison. Okay, so I'm going to use the big fish power. Ouch. When you do a 2-hit combo but it only deals 1 damage. Ooh, I have no health left. I can only shoot out 1 poison fish at a time. Okay, so that knocked me out really hard. Sam White said 10. Oh, you ate 10 hot dogs? So I guess nobody else could eat 10 hot dogs. Are they plain hot dogs? Are they hot dogs with everything on them? How stacked are these hot dogs? Beth said, what do you dislike driving to the point of being so avoidant about it? I don't think I'm super avoidant about driving. If I have to drive somewhere, I'll drive there. It's just I'm not a big fan of driving. I don't really know what to say in particular, but I would rather not have to drive places. I'd rather just be able to be at places, which I think most people feel that way. And I feel like I understand how that argument is not sufficient, because people can say that about anything. But yeah, I just feel like I trust other people to drive me around, I guess, a lot more than I trust myself to drive myself around. I don't think I'm a bad driver per se, but I'd rather not have the additional stress of being like, I gotta make sure that I'm doing everything correctly. I'd rather that just be put onto like a self-driving car or something. Because it's not that I necessarily want a chauffeur or that I want my friends to constantly have to drive me around places. I just want self-driving cars, which I think we're getting pretty close to. Which I think is part of it. Like, I didn't drive as a teenager. I started driving more recently. And I just feel like we're so close to cars that can just drive themselves. I'm like, if I was born like maybe like a few years earlier, right? I could be at this point in my life and my first car could just be a car that can just do its own thing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, not a big fan of driving. Sam White said, they're just normal hot dogs. Oh, okay. What do you think helped you win the hot dog eating contest? Did you eat anything before the contest? Do you have any like tips and tricks that you would give to us to help us if we were to do a hot dog eating contest? Sam White said you could use whatever, but I just had a glass of water. Oh, okay, so you had the ability to put whatever you wanted on the hot dogs. That's interesting. Let's see, Godzilla said big fish power. Oh. So yeah, Argagarg has a move where you can summon a tidal wave with a giant fish on it, and it can like hit opponents. Then Matt said never hitting fish power. Matt hates that move. Godzilla said I think Nick is playing the lizard. He's more of a fish man, but I get where you're coming from. Matt said Jet's lazy, easy. Matt said I hate driving, but I do it anyhow because that's just what's needed. Beth said I don't trust any drivers, including myself, and want a better transportation system. What are your thoughts on this? I think if we have more public transportation options, that'd be nice. I definitely would enjoy it. I don't think it would be able to work for like everything that I needed to do. You know what I mean, like in my day-to-day life. But I do think if we just had like more buses and bus stops around the city, I think that'd be kind of nice. Like just a regularly running bus system that went around the city. I think that'd be cool. Let's see. Matt said also Jet, stop it. We don't even know if AI cars will be safe yet. Even if we are on the cusp. We'll see. Then Ryan said we really are not on the cusp. Then Matt said veteran, you doing that stupid challenge again? Hey, that's from the food eating contest that I did at what was the place that we went to? The Euro place, Euro Uno. Yeah, I did a big burger challenge. I was able to eat the burger, but those fries were too much. Beth said, sorry about the weird driving question. I don't know why you're apologizing. Is everything okay? So my question to you, Beth, what do you think of DeGrave? He's the guy that I'm currently fighting on the Fantasy Strike stream that has like the female ghost character behind him. Let's see. Sam White said, yeah, I did not eat before, but I did not know about it before I went to the fair. So it was just lucky. Oh, okay. Well, sorry. It was just luck. I had something blocking that part of the chat. Anyways, I'm going to do another round against DeGrave. Wish me luck. DeGrave currently has a victory over me.
Assist.
Ah.
Assist. Justice kick.
So you can block the ghost attempt to grab you. DeGrave crossed me up and took out like half my life bar at the same time. Okay, I'm gonna do another round. That round went pretty quick. Hit him with the fish. When he's invulnerable, he can get through the fish, which is normally unblockable. So literally the only way to get past the fish is to be invulnerable, like the poison fish. That's interesting. Okay. So where are we at? Ryan said, it could be worse. Matt said, the fact that you want driving to be other people's responsibility is not fair to the other people. Literally said in my breakdown, it's not that I want a chauffeur or that I want my friends to drive me around. I just want a car that can drive itself. Beth said, I vibe the character. Is the female ghost his dead wife's spirit guide? I haven't played a story mode. I actually don't know anything about DeGrave. Let's see. Godzilla said, Jet, what is your favorite story ever in history? It can be any story ever. It can be an anime, a movie, ancient mythology, books, Minecraft, whatever. I don't know what my favorite story of all time, period, is. I feel like that's a pretty big question to ask. If you narrow it down to like a specific like type of thing, like what's my favorite anime, or like my favorite comic book, or my favorite graphic novel, you know, stuff like that, I feel like I could answer your question a little bit better. But I think when you're like broad, favorite story of all time, like period, so I don't know. But I'm working on trying to write it. Let's see, and then Matt said, Shogun Rakugo Shinju. I believe Matt's talked to me about that before, but I don't really remember where it is. Then Matt said, no you aren't. No who is not what. I don't get the context. Anyways, I see. You're saying I'm not working on trying to write my favorite story. I am. I'm about to get back to this fight against the Grave.
Assist. 1, 2. Counter.
Time to use Bubble Shield.
Justice kicks. Assist. Justice kicks. Assist.
Yeah, I'm dead. We gotta try this again. Matt said, Jet, stop pronouncing stuff wrong. And then you find asterisks and he said, get rid of stuff. Let's try again on this fight.
Round 1. Fight.
Assist. 1, 2.
Oh, but I believe, unless you're gonna count the question about is it his wife's spirit guide as your question, then it is still your turn to ask me a question. Big Fish got him. Big Fish is a good anti-air super.
Assist. 1, 2. Gotcha.
Ouch.
Gotcha.
Ouch. I think I'd have to jump his grab gotcha move that he does. I feel like that might be the only way to dodge it. Beth said, what got you into fighting games? I've played fighting games throughout my life. The first fighting game I probably ever played was like a Mortal Kombat game for Sega Genesis. But I never really got super into fighting games until like college. In high school, I used to play fighting games with my friend Ethan. But I didn't play a lot of fighting games on a regular basis until college, where I was facing off against like Colin and Gerard and eventually Matt, and then but fighting games are definitely something I got more into in college, but are something that I have experience playing even before college. Beth said, I can't remember if I asked this. I'm not sure if you have. That probably is a new question. Oh, Beth. What do you like most about the Pokemon franchise? I'm pretty much gonna die. Yeah, I'm like, I have no way of beating DeGrave at that particular setup. Matt said, Shoagin. I'm trying to fight DeGrave and pronounce fucking Japanese. Let me pause it. Shoagin Roku Rakugo Shinju. Then Godzilla said, can the amphibian kill people with the spear? He has a staff. I'm not sure if he actually ever uses the staff that he has. Matt said no. Then Godzilla said, that's dumb. Matt said, I don't even think he uses the spear for anything. He uses it to summon like his wave. He calls that move Rushing River, and it knocks your opponent backwards. And then Matt said, except maybe for the wave attack. Yep. Then Godzilla said, why does he have the spear then? Then Matt said, logic. He's a water shaman, so it's probably used for like magic and shit. Godzilla said, what can he attack with? And then he said, stretchy arm? True. Stretchy arm and like water fish. Please stop grabbing me today. I will grab you too. This is Grab City. We're all about these grabs here.
It's my turn.
Oh, nice. He used a counter super, and he killed me. I guess I've seen him use the counter super before. I've never seen him land it. Ouch. Well, that sucked. And we're dead. He got just a perfect victory on us. Godzilla said, why does he throw fish at people? He throws fish made of water at people. So he's like summoning water fish projectiles. Matt said, Jet, you aren't finishing. He said, go to Amino for Kel's sake. Kel's isn't even currently on the stream. I'd imagine Kel's would prefer that we do that while he's here. Gosh.
Perfect.
I need to figure out legitimately how to fight back against DeGrave. His ability to scoot back before he hits you is really good. So far, it seems like the safest thing to use against DeGrave is like the diagonal down stretchy arm aerial attack. The ghost being able to Yage you in the air is a little too strong. Matt said 3 people watching. Let me pause real quick. Beth said, I really like how the Pokemon franchise has multiple different parts, the trading card game, anime, games, etc., and always allows people to connect. Plus, I like the idea of collectible monsters. What specific part, if you had to pick like one part of the Pokemon franchise, whether that part be the trading card game, the anime, the games, as in like video games, the collectible, like toys, like if you had to pick like one sub media of the franchise, which one would you say is like your favorite and why?
Dagger ball! Assist! Dagger ball! Gotcha! Assist! Justice!
Wow, cool.
Perfect.
DeGray is just wiping the floor with me. Matt said, never mind. Godzilla said, Jet, if you were elected president, what would you do? Resign. I have no business being the president. Like, did I run for president and get elected? Or are you saying, like, people voted for me and I won? I don't even think that's how it works. I don't think people can just choose. Like, if we all vote for some guy who's not on the final ballot, they'll just win. But Ryan would probably know more about that than I would. DeGrave wiped the floor with me again. Matt said, give AI rights. I probably have no business doing that. Godzilla said, you ran for president and you won. I would try and do the things that I promised during the campaign.
Gotcha!
I just try to give the people what they voted for. That's gonna hurt. Yep. Beth said, probably the trading card game because it allows me to play in tournaments and connect with others. And then she said, I prefer trading card games over video games. Why is that? And what other trading card games have you played outside of Pokemon? Ouch, I'm getting annihilated once again. Let's see. Ryan said Jet was acclaimed by the legions. Then Matt said, thanks, Jet. What's wrong, man? Did I do something wrong? Beth said, do you consider yourself a superhero? I used to use the term crime fighter. Because real life superhero is what I started using, and then I saw a video when I was younger where someone was like, you don't say real life firefighter, that you don't say real life fighter, that you don't say real life firefighter, you don't say real life police officer, so why say real life superhero? Because that's just what people were calling it back in the day. You would say real life superhero was like a commonly used like phrase. Whoa, the grave is like giving me his hands. So then I started saying crime fighter instead of real life superhero. So would I call myself like a superhero? Probably not. Especially now that I don't do the patrolling stuff anymore like I used to. Where I would straight up like patrol and report crime. But I do try to help out just in a different way. Doing cybersecurity.
Round one.
Oh, why do you prefer trading card games over video games? That's gonna be my question to you. But alright. Godzilla said, I consider Jet a superhero. Thank you, Godzilla, I appreciate it. Right now I am throwing DeGray to death. I'm just repeatedly throwing him. Okay, we got a W.
Round two.
Ryan said, the Britannic Legion specifically. Ow. DeGray's now repeatedly throwing me. It's the new meta. Ooh, DeGray's counter move? Can't stop grabs. Ow, that chip damage. I got chipped to death.
Round three.
Matt said, what would you do if elected? Jet, do what I was elected for. Isn't that what you would want? Matt said, best answer clearly.
It's my turn.
Oh crap, and he's gonna hit me with his counter, which deals a third of my health. Not bad. Then he hits me with a grab and 3 more hits, and I'm dead. Well, I guess I grabbed and 2 more hits.
Fight.
Goodness. Ryan said, so ask what he would run on. I don't know what I would run on because I'm not, like, politically aware. Which, I guess I feel conflicted about the fact that I'm not politically aware. Like, I don't care about politics. I don't really want to know about politics. I think politics stuff is boring. At the same time, I don't necessarily want to be apathetic. I don't want to be someone who's like, I don't care about what's going on in the world and people who are, like, in bad situations. Like, it's not like I don't care for people, but it's just I think politics are particularly not of an interest to me. Like, I think they're boring, and I don't want to take time where I could be doing fun stuff to get into, like, politics. So I feel like there's, like, a conflict. It's like I want to still care about people and maybe try to help people if I can, but I don't want to be politically aware because it doesn't interest me. But then I could potentially help people if I was politically aware by, like, voting for things that could help people. But I don't think I should vote for stuff if I lack that political awareness. So that's where the conflict comes in. Let's see, Beth said, I played Magic for a bit, but kind of lost interest. I also vibe with card games more over video games because I feel like the trading card game allows more face-to-face interaction than the video game. Then how do you feel about games that you can play in the same space as another person? Like just local multiplayer games. Beth said, is Olivia there? Yes, my niece is here. My niece actually was on camera earlier. Godzilla said, is Jet obsessed with AI? I'm a big fan of AI. Then Beth said, yes. Matt put ... Ryan said, Jet doesn't care that our president is a fascist. Godzilla said, maybe if Jet was obsessed with AI, he can make a thing that helps people. I do like making AIs. I actually, when I got out of the shower today, I was thinking about working on an AI that could help me with my story writing. Gosh, I don't remember DeGrave being this difficult. Okay. Beth said, local video games can be fun to do with other people. How do you feel like local video games like local multiplayer video games specifically, compared to trading card games? Do you think you prefer playing a local multiplayer video game with someone over playing a trading card game with someone, or vice versa, and why? Godzilla said, and maybe someone teaches the AI what feelings are so it can get mad and make a body and make more bodies. So we already have stuff like emotional processing units to allow you to make AI that has emulated emotions and can understand emotions and stuff like that. Which I do have more ideas for that, but I haven't been working on that a lot recently since I've been just actually working, just like my job. But I do think about new ideas for it on occasion. But I spend a lot of time writing stories rather than writing code outside of work, because I already write code so long. Not to say that I don't like doing it as a hobby too, because like I said, I'm interested in maybe making some code to help me with my writing projects. So.
DeGray wins.
Then Matt said, okay, Skynet. Then Godzilla said, yay. So it's currently 9:01, so I'm going to wrap up everything. Beth said, I can't say because they both sound equally fun. The reason I don't do Pokemon video game competitively is because it is too much effort. Yo, I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you guys like this video, make sure to smash that like button, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding ding ding, ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we do these live streams. It's your friend, your boy, Jeb Like One Only, logging out. Peace, guys. Peace.